Welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show, Schlegs, and it is a huge day for a multitude of reasons. Reason number one, it's the first day of spring. How's that sound? So that means we have,
Really?
yeah, I think we at 5 in Columbus, Ohio, Central Ohio region. I think it was around 5-ish, something like that. That we were equidistant from the sun in the spring equinox. So we had that
Okay.
going for us at around 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. this morning. And so that's big. We have 10,000 subscribers to our
That's huge.
channel on YouTube. So thank you, everybody out there. When I tell you to like, subscribe, leave your comments, hop in the chat, all the goodness that's out there. We
So
appreciate
good.
that. So
So
that's
good.
big. And then lastly, Schlegs, it is the start of the NCAA tournament. So with that, I've been arguing with my kids, and like I've got some young ones, and so it's tough. We can't do like the fully automated brackets for our whole family yet. My daughter and wife are in. They're in like some friend pools and getting the different stuff. But we went all natural. I'll get mine and I'll bring it out and show it to you. But we printed them off,
Please.
wrote them in there, and everybody from Caleb, who's in second grade, to RJ is a freshman, myself, like my wife, the other two kids, like everybody's all in on it. And all they're doing is now asking questions. My daughter, I give her credit. She's over there on CBS Sports looking at it and saying, oh, this team's this. Their net ranking is this. They have this record against top 25 teams. Like, it's crazy. All the stuff that she's been putting out there with everything and like all that. I'm like, where are you getting the information? She goes, it's right here on CBS. I'm like, well, why are you asking me then?
Yeah.
You know just as much about it as I do. You've got the Ken Palm rankings and or Jerry, whatever, all this stuff. Like, you've got it. And so 3 big things that have happened today. So like first day of spring, which is always exciting. Spring has sprung. But what are we most excited about on your end?
Well, you need to go back to, I heard you on the juice this morning, talk about something that doesn't happen a lot because of spring break. Your kids are back. Everybody else is gone. Talk about that, because I think sometimes we don't enjoy those moments, right? Or maybe we enjoy them more because we don't see them as often. Tell them about that.
Yeah.
Juice, because I know what that looks like.
Yeah. But then they were just all fighting here this morning and arguing about
Well,
who's
that was yesterday. That was yesterday.
Yeah.
Embrace, remember the good. Remember the good. Forget
All
the
I've
bad.
done since I've been back, Schlegs, I've been teaching classes. I've been doing this show, doing my morning show. I've been dealing with conversations to get a bunch of stuff dealt with and straightened out. All I've done is talk or listen to people. All I wanted to do today was eat my lunch in silence and fill out my bracket. And I bring those brackets home. I thought my kids would just sit there in silence. Instead, they're arguing about who's better, who's just like, oh, it's all going to be revealed. They're all going to play teams going to play each other. Someone's going to win. Someone's going to lose. We're going to be able to figure it out. Why do we need to argue about it right now? Why? Just let me sit here in silence. I'm going to go in and talk to Schlegs here for the next 50 minutes. Gosh, just let me sit here in silence. Let me just die. Let me die. My dad, I told my kids this. My dad always told me, I can't wait to get older. Then I can be my own boss. No, that's what I always tell myself when it's 4th, 5th grade, where you're getting old enough that you want to make your own decisions. Like once I'm older, I'll be my own boss. Because you'll never be your own boss. It's like you're always going to be serving others. I tell my kids, like, if I wouldn't have got married, wouldn't have had any of you, could have played football, got done. And I probably would be like Fat Thor now in Avengers Endgame. I would sit there, play video games all day. I would just lift some weights. I probably wouldn't be that heavy because I would just probably drink vodka and tequila all day, maybe cruise around, go see some people on certain days, take a vacation here or there. But like, I would have enough money that I didn't have to work or do anything. I had no accountability to anyone, and it would have been amazing. But instead, I have 4 kids, ungrateful most of the time, and similarly with my wife occasionally too. So I'm just trying to serve everybody. It's like everything that I'm doing today, I'm doing for you, trying to have an attitude of gratitude. But a part of me just wonders, like, hey, and Courtney's like, you'd probably be dead. And I'm like, well, then that'd be even better because then I wouldn't have anything to worry about. All right. I would have run a good race, Schlegs. I would have run a good race, and I would have been done. And that would have been
This is what you needed. It's like this morning I get up, I had Jay here, and I got in last night. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was coming from Maine. You guys were on the show yesterday. You saw it. Again, thank you, everybody out there that likes, subscribes, add comments. We appreciate you guys because we couldn't be able to do this without you. And all of our friends and guests, that's a huge role in this. And
AJ coming on every week,
awesome. Ben Scott Stevens and
all
that.
And Bill Bender comes on every Tuesday.
Richard Bender, bro. What are we talking about? And Joshua. And so it's been fantastic. And so last night, side nugget, right? So I get done, I fly in, I come to the Armory, get a good little sweet chest pump in because I didn't get one previous day. I did squats on Sunday because I knew I was traveling, whatever. So I got a good little sweet little pump. And then I was like, man, I got to go home because I got Stover and John Simon, Brian Peters are going to come in the morning. And I text Jake. I'm like, or excuse me, let me go back. So then I get there. I make the mistake. I pop it on in, about 30 minutes. Right when I hit 30 or 23 and 270, I threw one in there no big deal. Boom. It locked me back in. So I get to the farm and then just boom. I'm just attacking and dominating life. Just catching up on stuff. Next thing I know, it's 2 o'clock. I'm like, dude, I got to wake up at 5. This sounds terrible. So I did. But I just kept sleeping. And I woke up at 6:20 and I was like, Jay, because he was already here. God bless him. I was like, you got the run. I'll be there for the lift. And it was great. And then me and John and Brian were in there getting bumpy. And Dr. Bailey came in, got super bumpy. And then we went and had breakfast. And now we're back. Now we're working. But I got in the sauna. That's what I was saying. Boom. I feel amazing right now. And I can't wait. Jay's right there. I can't wait to get.
How long did you sit in the sauna?
Probably 20. Just a straight 20. I get to the 15 and I put it to 5. So I didn't have any more time than that. It was 192. You
need to close those vents.
I did. I closed them because he had already had it going, and I had to go. And then I got on a call with the NFL Trust with your boy Lou, which was amazing. So all good things. And then you got bracketology, and you're talking about that. I could give 2 flips about March Madness or whatever. I don't even know if I'll watch a game. I might watch the Final Four.
That's okay. So that's what I was going to ask you.
Let's talk about that.
None of your kids play basketball. My youngest 2 do, and they like it a lot. My older son can take it or leave it. My daughter plays in a rec basketball league. It's probably the worst quality basketball you'll ever find in America. But it's entertaining, and she has a good time with it. So I said, great, go do that for an hour on the weekend. And it can be your winter thing you do outside of your other sports and play with your friends and have a good time. There's nothing wrong with that. But some of my fondest memories with my dad were sitting there this weekend, and he'd sit there, locked in the lazy boy, and I'd be there. And a lot of it happened, Schlegs, when I was in high school. I feel like I was grounded a lot around this time. And then the one year in college when I got my eye socket shattered, which you remember that one. And I wasn't going out and drinking or partying or doing anything. So I just sat there with my dad and we watched college basketball.
Yeah.
And it was actually, it was a lot of fun. We had conversations and talking about it and everything else. And so that was one of my favorite memories of all of that is how I used to consume it. And so I was curious to you, you said you're not going to watch a game. Will your kids watch them? Will anybody watch them? They're going to be starting up here right now. And my kids are arguing about their brackets, but there's games that are tipping off, and I don't even think that they know that.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If I was doing that, I think in the time of my life where I am, what's going on in my world, you got Hunter playing baseball tonight at this ballpark that they're playing at in Daytona is 120 years old, right? So it's super cool. And they're playing in this week-long kind of tournament thing. And they've beaten 2 really good teams, top-ranked teams in the state of Florida back-to-back. I think they got 5 wins versus top 10 teams in Florida. Remember, Florida, there's 1 through 7A. And it doesn't really matter because really some of the best ball is Division 3, 4, and 5. They're Division 7. They're the biggest school district. But they've beaten the top teams in their region. They just play the hardest schedule in Florida. I'm watching that tonight, right? On the YouTube thing. And then the Fury are playing tonight. I'm watching them because guess what? Jay's going on vacation. Boom. I'm serving kids. I'm training kids this evening. We had Cade. Then we got tomorrow. We got Cade and the Columbus Fury, and then a bunch of group while I'm in the ROTC from Ohio State.
Ooh.
That's the stuff I'm thinking about. When I go to the farm, I literally go there to sleep because I'm putting my time, energy, and effort into the Armory, into the show, into the difference. I don't have time for other leisure. I made that choice. And so when it comes to like these things, I made that choice, right? And that's what I think. Like people are always like, well, what about my time? Here is my time. My time was getting bumpy and then sitting in the sauna for 20 minutes. That was my time. So the other things of, hey, I just need to veg out or chill. No, I got rid of that because I took on those other things. Remember, commitment and involvement. So I'm committed to those things. Watching TV, that's just involvement. I don't need that. Plus, if I was to do something for my own time, it's getting green now in Ohio. So like, I can't wait. Like this weekend, I got to get the zero turn Raider freaking rock and roll. And it's about 6 hours of mowing. I enjoy that. Country music, you know how it goes. On Red Man Golden Blend, maybe a Blackie Mild mix in there, all the nicotine that you can get. Country music, fantastic. Shoot my bow. That sounds amazing. I'll just put a bracketology on that. You know,
that's
what's going to win the day.
I mean, that's good. It's the country music, maybe a podcast. It's all right there. A lot of nicotine. I told my kids, I go, of all the things I've done,
it's so terrible.
Phone calls, radio, podcast, all this crap. I go, the only thing that I really enjoyed today was the 45 minutes, 50 minutes of lifting that I got, followed by the 7 minutes I sat in the cold plunge. And I really don't, the lifting isn't as enjoyable as it was because my body's beat to hell. And they're like, Dad, why aren't you as big as Reacher? Like, you could be that big. I'm like, well, I could if my body wasn't destroyed, like my elbow hurts. I sent that meme. I don't know if I sent it to you, to the group. It's like,
no, you did. You did. You sent it to me. I could pull it up
like
on the
I used to have a left shoulder and a right shoulder. Now I just have a good shoulder and a bad shoulder.
Well, you know what else? Like, this is what's best. Like, so John's in there. I'm like, dude, John's like all the way down. Like, we're doing pull-ups. He's like all the way down. And I get down. And like my arms, guys, like my right shoulder, my left shoulder, I have better like mobility in it because I don't have a labrum. So it's like, boom, like my left hand is literally like 5 inches longer than my right. And my right, I have arthritis in both of them. I'm like, John, like, what are you talking about? Are you the rep police now? Is that what we're going to do? And of course, John can do it because he's in his early 30s. I could do the same stuff when I was in my early 30s. He's way more
culture reps, Schlegs, culture reps.
Anyways, we still got bumpy, but it was great. But again, fun because like you're just making those comments and John's like super funny. And Cade was rocking the music today. And, you know, John had to bite his tongue because he wanted to listen to like some Skrillex and porn star dancing. And we did it. So it was great. It was great.
Did Cade come in and establish himself as the alpha of the group? Is that what happened?
Well, he was there earlier. They know it's all about Cade because of what he's doing because they were at that time.
No, John told me he there's a couple teams that had some free agent interest in him. Like he's got a chance. He thinks
somebody that could set the edge. Somebody that can set the edge that wants somebody that can go to the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu World
Championship. Nate Ebner's going to bring him in to set the edge with Matt Patricia on the defense for Ohio State.
John's the best. I mean, honestly, guys, just – you know, when guys get done playing, and again, I coach John and Brian, like they're significantly younger than me. But, you know, Bob, you get to be in the building all the time. It's just fun to watch guys that we played with or guys that were slightly behind us, Brian Hartline and those, be able to go and impact guys and how good they are at coaching. And I've just been watching this stuff. Like I'm more probably in tune to Ohio State spring football than I would be like bracketology. But the thing is this, like I'm just thoroughly enjoying watching the development, and I'm doing it through Instagram and Twitter and your feedback, but just watching Nate out there with a medicine ball wearing cleats, like going in there, asking that question with AJ the other day. And I'm like, yeah, I could totally see it. If I had to go in and let somebody hit me, I'm not going to get blown back. Like these guys they're strong, man. It's like Nate's got 2 bad knees and a busted hip, you know?
AJ asked, I don't know if you were on, he asked if Nate had a knee replacement. I'm like,
yeah, he did.
Not really, but kind of. Like he had experimental procedures where they moving stuff around all in there. It was crazy stuff. All right. We're long for a break here. Attention parents and athletes. Protect what matters most with Export mouth guards. Trusted by professional athletes, designed by an NHL team. Dentists, Export mouth guards, they're scientifically tested to help absorb those high impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. Export mouth guards feature 3 layers of advanced protection, patented use of carbon fiber. They 3D print that bad thing to your own unique grill for more protection, better performance, max comfort, clear communication so you can focus on your game, not on your gear. Don't take chances with your safety. Visit exportguards.com/Bobby. Save 15% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. More of the Bobby Carpenter Show coming up next. All right, welcome back into the Bobby Carpenter Show. And Schlegs, I stumbled across this the other day. Ohio State, we got their pro day coming up. And, we have Lathan Ransom on with us every Monday. We usually record a lot of his stuff on Sunday just because it works out better. I'm going to try to see if we can get like Jack Sawyer, maybe some of the other guys heading
Yes.
into pro day and what that'll be like. And maybe try to slide them in here as well, maybe tomorrow or early next week. But as we look at this, I don't know if we saw this about Lathan Ransom. Schlegs, it was pretty interesting because I'm curious to see how he's going to run. And that's important because you want to be fast, especially on the back end. But if you take a look at this, did you get a chance to see this and what they were talking about with some of the analytics that he provides? And,
Oh, yeah.
and it's now we have all this technology in the skill pad, as you toss that up here, about what makes these players great and why they're really good. And he's got like a 74.8 IGA score. What does that mean? Well, and they go on to explain it. And I think they've got like a video talking about it a little bit with what he's able to do and how he's able to ultimately play. And like involves like you're breaking on the ball and your reaction time and distance from the football you're able to move. And all that stuff is there and how good Lathan is at that. Here we go. Let's take a listen.
Ohio State's Lathan Ransom posted a 74.8 in-game athleticism score by Real Analytics, which ranks in the 75th percentile among safeties. His 19.3 miles per hour max speed, paired with his 1.3 closing time, demonstrates his ability to track the ball and break on plays. Ransom is a rangy defender with the athleticism to cover ground and make plays in space. The NFL values in-game athleticism, and the IGA score is setting the standard.
There we go. So I've never heard of the IGA score, but Schlegs measures, distance to break, angles, all of those things. And like that's much more applicable to football than it is just sitting in there running a 40, out of a track stance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he hit on the fact 19.8 max velo, just so everybody knows, like that's not his max velo. And when you play safety, the max velos are going to be lower because you're already playing from depth and you can run. And again, max velo doesn't happen until, honestly, like even the guy like Trey is faster probably on the back end than he even is in the 40 because he's not reaching max velocity. Probably from 40 to 70 is when he actually would hit that. So I say all that to say this. Those numbers are good. There's something to consider and take a look at, but it's the tape. And he talked about running the alley and being able to play in space. And I would say that him and Caleb were phenomenal open field tacklers, but just his ability to read and react to the alley and run and make those type of plays. Like we saw that. And that's what the versatility, because again, when you're a Lathan Ransom, it's all right, where would that fit be as a safety? He's 100% a cultural type guy that you want in your organization. How can he also add value on special teams? And what does that look like? And that's honestly going to dictate. And then, of course, where are the safeties going? And where are they ranked on your board? And if they become a run, like boom, all of a sudden he can get higher or even lower, just predicated upon where they go in the draft and what's the importance in the time of the draft. So all those things are a consideration. But to me, like the eye in the sky never lies. And what I saw from Lathan this year is somebody that just has a really, really high football acumen that plays well in space and can do, and is a very physical presence in a game that is played in space now more than ever. And those are the type of guys that you want because he's such a big body, taller guy.
Absolutely. And, with that, he's got pro day. They have pro day the 12th, Schlegs.
Yeah.
No, spring game.
26.
It's next Wednesday is going to be pro day. It all kicks off
26.
at 11. It'll be from 11 to 3. So I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do with our show. Whether we'll do it earlier, let it go. And because I want to try to be there for as much of it as I possibly can. I'll be able to watch some of that pro day and watch these guys get going. So we'll have to figure out exactly what the best methodology would be for putting that together on next Wednesday. But with that, they've got the OSU Pro Day. Let me toss that up there, Pat, like how exciting that is. They've got all of the guys there. And so there's going to be like 16, 17 guys working out. The ability to get 16 guys drafted would be a record, which would be phenomenal. They have a chance to do that. And so I'm hoping that ultimately takes place, but we'll get like the last and best final look at these guys on Wednesday, starting about 11 and it ends around 3. And Mick does such a great job of running pro day, man. I think it's concise, it is tight. They roll through it, they bang it out, and then they're done.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was there, I had to run I think Rick ran it one year, I ran it a couple of years, and Phil took over. And it's always been something where, one, for the guys, you don't want to draw it out, but you also know like they're going to need a break and you can step in and give them water. We also have a relationship with all of these position coaches in some capacity. It's crazy the amount of people that everybody has worked with in that building and how they want to set guys up for success to have the best pro day they could possibly have. That's why these guys are all kind of coming back like a week prior. So they kind of get into that routine. So it's not just like, ooh, I'm there. It's like I can go in, I can go work out. Here's the things that I need before I do my 40, if they're going to do a 40. Because again, some of these things are not good. Some guys aren't going to run because they had a good enough time when they did at the combine. Some guys won't do pro shuttle or won't do the L drill. You had to do everything because you weren't able to participate because you're coming off of a broken ankle. Right. So there's going to be things that guys do. It always starts with body weight, arm length, hands, right? Like those type of measurables. They do that. They call it out. Then you go into, I believe it's the bench. And then you go into the vertical jump. And then you go to the field for the field stuff. So everything they can do in the weight room, they do in the weight room. And then you go to the field stuff and they get time. And I believe you start with the 40, then it goes to the L, or the shuttle. And then it goes to the L, and then it goes into individual drills. And that's really where the time is. What is the order of those drill work? Like, what does that look like? Because now you know, like, how much time you have in between. What do you got to do to get your body right? If you're the first one, like, that's the best one to go. And then also who's doing it. Because, like, Bob, and people will still comment, I kid you not, when you and I go to pro day, they're like, I still remember y'all's pro day. It was just us three, a solid, I don't remember how long it was.
Oh, it was a legit 40 minutes individually.
It was long. Okay, everybody. And that's the thing. Like, they can do whatever you want. The guys have to embrace it. And
the guys can't stand up. You can never say, I'm done. I mean, you can say, I ran 140, I ran a good time and I'm good. But in position drills,
no.
And folks, like, here's the thing you don't understand is in normally you have a position group, you're going to have 8 or 9 linebackers, receivers, you have 8 or 9 guys, offensive line, like 12, 14 guys. When you do this, you have like a third of that, or maybe
only your guys.
So it's literally just 3 guys running these drills over and over. So like there is no line you get back. You get back and you're going again. And so they want to see how tough you are. They want to see if you're in shape, how you handle adversity. And so the last thing you can do is like, hey, coach, I'm done. I'm good. Like you just stand there. And if you have a good coach running it, Bill Sheridan, I think, ran ours like, hey, he was like, let's get some water. Let's get some water. Because we're like pouring sweat because every rep you're doing is a game rep.
Yes.
And it is dead silent in an entire 120-yard field. There are 400 or 500 people wrapped around there all watching, and you can hear a pin drop. Like you're breathing, you're dying. Like the last thing, like, yeah, I'm good. I can't do anymore. Like you ain't saying that.
No, you can't tap out. There's none of this.
You.
Yeah.
No tap outs.
And you know what, though? The one thing they'll say is that in our group, none of us dropped a pass. Right. And it was honestly, it turned in 100% real. None of us dropped a pass. I think it was the old GM of the Steelers was like, I forget his name. Good dude. I think it was Jeff, maybe something like that. I know his face, but he was like, yeah, I just remember you guys. Like it was like one of the best linebacker drill groups because none of you guys dropped a pass, period. And honestly, our drill, because remember, Bob, it started with like closed box stuff.
Yeah.
Then it went to like downhill bootleg stuff. They don't run bootlegs anymore, but like it was that. Then it was like straight up metabolic conditioning work, like wheel routes. Like we were doing line drills, and then it went to wheel routes. Then it went to like hook curl driving on a ball. None of us. Part of that is like he was throwing us good balls. Part of it was like we were in shape and we were doing it. We also all trained together, and so we kind of like knew what to expect. But it was for these guys. I think it will be really eye-opening for the teams because Lathan talked about it. He's going to have some teams that he meets with the day before, the day after, even potentially the day of after when you meet with these teams. But now you're in your environment. Now you're in your home. and guys can just kind of be themselves because they also want to see the authentic you, right? Like we've heard about, oh man, St. Clair was talking about Will and just like what he took away from Will. And it was just the fact that everybody genuinely loves Will. Like he was engaging with everybody, took time to listen, not to say, hey, how you're doing and walk off, but like, how are you doing? And everybody just had that about him. And like, that's a great takeaway. These guys want to see how you've interacted with your team because you don't get that when you're at a combine. You know, like they want to see what does that look like in the confines of the team that you played on. And I just think it's going to be a great experience for all of them. And I think it could definitely set them up for success wherever they go in the draft.
Absolutely. All right. Kevin Colbert was that Pittsburgh GM that Schlegs was talking about that commented how great we were at not dropping passes.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Coming up next, Iron Buckeyes. What is it? Mickey Marotti will explain next on the Bobby Carpenter Show.
The Big Play Sports Network. Download the free app today to watch all of your favorite hosts on demand.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like... I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer. All right, Schlegs. They have the Iron Buckeyes every year.
Iron Buckeye.
They're like the ultimate Iron Buckeye is essentially the Block L, more or less.
Yep.
It's the guy that best exemplifies all the great traits of what we're looking for there. And Iron Buckeyes are selected when in the summer, like heading into training camp. But Mick came out and gave a speech talking about like what the Iron Buckeye is, what its purpose is. You got to indoctrinate and you've got to explain it to the young guys so they can understand how you get to be this. Like, look at these guys. These guys were Iron Buckeyes. This is how it's supposed to work. And so Mick, like very wisely in his meeting, and they have the team meeting where everybody gets together and boom. And Mick dropped it out here what the Iron Buckeye is.
In terms of strength and conditioning in this program, the Iron Buckeye. The Iron Buckeye is not only voted by the leaders, strength coaches, trainers, everybody involved. Big deal, man. You walk down that hallway, there's a bunch of names on there. You look at them names. Bunch of dudes, bunch of ballers. Give it to the student athlete who best exemplifies unquestionable physical training, dedication, determination, discipline, toughness, and most of all, leadership. We've got three representing the O-line!
There you go. So that's the weekly Iron Buckeyes they give out, and then it's all kind of summated who was the Iron Buckeye of all of the summer and everything. Schlegs, you can probably give a little more insight, ultimately into that.
So you go, guys, just so you know, you have skill, big skill, power, and go back. You guys already got it posted up there. So skill, JJ Smith, right? Big skill, right? It's your tight ends, linebackers, quarterbacks, running backs. That's Sonny Styles and Austin Severfield. That's power, right? No, line. I know it's line. They might have called it power, but I think it's line. So it's line, big skill. Anyways, so going through what he just mentioned, right? So he said it was voted on by the leaders. So again, you have power of the unit. Every unit has a unit leader. Every single day, you have competitive excellence within the groups, and you're training with your groups. Okay, so skill will all be there, right? Or power of the unit. So linebackers are all trained together. O-lines all trained together. D-lines trained together. Skills all trained together. So you see everybody in your unit group. You see how everybody in your unit group competes. You see how everybody in your unit group is training. And then the leader of that unit, one guy, gives you a plus, minus, or a like nothing every single day. Now, ways to lose the iron, like not even be included in Iron Buckeye. Like you show up late. You have the wrong gear. Like there's a lot. That's what he said, right? The first thing was discipline that you have to have, right? So do you show up on time? Do you meet with the nutritionist 30 minutes prior to lift? Do you have the right gear on, et cetera, et cetera? Do you communicate? Boom, those are in there. Toughness, right? The tougher you are, the tougher you'll get. How do you strain? That's all into it. And then the leadership qualities that you have. And so that is a weekly basis predicated on the power of the unit. The summation of that is then who are the top 3 Iron Buckeyes? And that's what you see on that post. That's how it's broken down. Because here's the thing. It's very intentional, and it's about consistency. And so it's like, oh, I can't just be on this week and off the next. That's where the discipline comes in. Every single day, are you thinking about how you sleep, how you eat, how you hydrate, how do you show up? Because there's going to be days in all of our lives that we don't necessarily want to do what it is that we got to do. But can you muster it up to where you can still be joyful and grateful? And yeah, it might have to be some false enthusiasm at some point. But you gotta fake it till you make it a little bit. And then that's part of also being a leader, knowing when to speak, when not to speak, knowing when to just train, knowing also when to bring on other people. That happens on a daily basis, and that's how they're evaluated, and that's how this all comes. Like there's a lot of numbers in it, and it's always posted because coaches go in there and look. And the reason that everything is posted, you have complete transparency, but you also see your peers. And a part of that is like, where do I go into spring football at, right? Like where am I? I'm competing with that unit, but I'm also competing against the defensive side of the unit. Everybody's evaluating everything. And in this generation, like even when we do max velo type stuff and put up the fastest guys, just so you guys know, we at Ohio State don't show you, hey, this guy, we got the 20-mile-an-hour club. You want to know why? Of the 105 guys, 110 guys, there's 70 of them that are running over 20 miles an hour. Like this shit will be filled, you know? So it's like, hey, here's how many guys we have over 22. Here's how many guys we have over 23. We don't post that stuff because we already know they're fast. But we post it in the building and those guys see it. So it's every time they know, hey, this is our max velo day or this is our acceleration day. What do I got to do to be at that? Boom. That's all the things that you do outside of the building to be able to have another great day. Because again, greatness is the accumulation of great days. Guess what? Stack them vertical, count them sideways. That's what it's about.
It really is. There you go. You ever want to know how to be an Iron Buckeye, how to train like a Buckeye, all those things? Well, Schlegs just broke it down to you. Now, we got some headlines coming up next. I found this little nugget about Tress, and it's all about the team. Win or lose, Schlegs, the mission always remains the same. Nice little nugget here from Jim Tressel on his All About the Team podcast. Our Lieutenant Governor in the great state of Ohio coming up next.
Welcome to Big Play, the fastest growing sports media company in America.
I'm gonna keep it straight with you. The reason you should watch our show is because I look good, baby.
Come get some!
Join our millions of fans for live sports talk shows hosted by the top former athletes and sports personalities in the industry.
Ohio, it's my home state.
Obviously, I'm a diehard Cleveland sports fan.
Watch what you want, where you want, when you want. Welcome to Big Play.
Make sure you tune in.
I love you, Cleveland.
All right, Schlegs, now we're into tailgate or into our headlines here. And I stumbled across this and all about the team. I threw this in here. I thought that you would like it. And this is what's amazing about Tress and how he's able to govern so many personalities and getting people focused and funneled into a common goal. And he's one of the best coaches that I've seen do that. And he's spoken with Ryan a lot. He's helped him. I believe this is him speaking with Alex Golish, who's the head
it's a
coach
good one.
at the University of South Florida, USF, former defensive line intern, I think, with us at Ohio State. And obviously has now ascended and done a great job on his coaching career. And so here's these guys talking about bringing together a team, winning and losing, and what the mission is.
It's for wanting to win. That was the fun of it. See how you could do. But my life didn't change and my mission didn't change when we happened to be national champions. So you go and you win the conference and you know, win your bowl game and so forth. Okay. The mission didn't change. You happen to have a little bit of success and people will pat you on the back. And maybe some of the people that used to criticize you might say nice things, but just wait. You know, as soon as you lose a game, they'll flip. And so keeping the noise out, keep the big things. I never apologize for wanting to win.
It's pretty good. Keep the noise out, keep the big things. And remember, Schlegs, there are people that will criticize. And this is true with Ryan Day. There were people that were all over him. And all of a sudden, like, hey, Ryan's the best. Ryan's the greatest. You know, we're on team day. Like, listen, coaches know, players remember, they see it all. And so don't apologize for wanting to win and don't apologize for winning and all those things. But you find a way to win and you find a way to win together. And there's that self-sacrifice that's a huge part of it.
Yeah, I think that you and I talk about this all the time, Bob. I think one of the greatest qualities that anybody can have is great self-introspection. And what I thought that Ryan did this season, like he never kind of wavered. He knew he made adjustments, he made hires that would allow him to be the best version of himself. And it was needed for this team in this season. And he was able to make those changes. I think a big part of that was bringing Chip Kelly on. And it allowed Ryan to actually be the head coach for probably the first time in the 6 years that he was at Ohio State. And now when you see the hires of this new staff and with the ability to hire more assistants and whatever, it's really gotten to the weeds and the development because you have the resources and you could also bring in really good, talented coaches that can focus on 1 or 2, 3 guys to develop. It's just honestly going to be better. And then when you bring in somebody that's outside, and we heard OG talk about Matt Patricia and how smart he is in the game. And when you have a bunch of guys on your staff that are thirsty and hungry to continue to get better, regardless of what you did the previous year, which is what Tress was alluding to, like now you know that you got a staff. And when you have a bunch of guys that also are saying, you know what? Yeah, we need to hang the 2024 national championship banner because that did happen and we got to recognize that. But this team, the 2025 version, has not done anything. It's time to move on from it. That was a big statement from the maturity of that team. And that also comes from Ryan Day himself because he can't sit there and say, hey, look at what we did last year and rest upon that. You always got to be moving forward. And when he proclaimed and said like, hey, man, I want to be a Buckeye. I want to influence the state. I love being here and all the things like that's what it's about. And it's not just winning one, it's winning multiple. And the standard is the standard at Ohio State. And the expectations are as high as they are because that's where they should be. And he embraces that. So does everybody in the building. And I just love seeing what he's doing. That's exactly what Tress was alluding to.
All right. It's the best. He's one of our favorites. That wraps up headlines. We got some tailgate talk. We're answering your questions. And there's one from yesterday that I want to make sure we get to as well. We got that coming up next on the Bobby Carpenter Show. All right, welcome back into the Bobby Carpenter Show. Please like, subscribe, comment, leave all your questions out there in the pod. We'd love for you guys doing that for us, getting us to 10,000 subscribers. Huge goal, getting that done. And now we're getting a little tailgate talk. We're answering your questions, our favorite part of the show each and every day. Brought to you by our friends at Real Truck. Go to realtruck.com. Bring your truck, Jeep, Bronco to life. A Real Truck with their interior, exterior, all the stuff you need. It's getting a little cooler in Columbus, but it was great. I had the Jeep out driving it around, my new top, my winch, bumpers, Schlegs, looking pretty sweet. Off to take it over to the Armory so you can check it out. With all that and everything going on, Schlegs, there was and you were around some of these guys, there was a question that came in yesterday. I said, put a pin in that. We didn't have time to get to it. But there was a question, Mylan Graham, really talented young player. Would he be good enough to slide into that rotation despite, Brandon Ennis probably filling in the slot? Would Mylan Graham be able to be that fourth guy and be able to steal some reps away from maybe those players, whether it's JJ, Carnell, or Ennis, with him getting in there? And I think the answer is yes, but I'd like to hear kind of your thoughts as far as what you know and what you've seen out of him.
Well, I mean, first off, like everybody was just making the comparison to Garrett Wilson. And, the guy, I will be dead serious. This goes into, do I come in early or do I come in the summer? And Mylan came in the summer. And when you had guys that were able to make that first impression early, like JJ, it gives you a better opportunity of playing earlier. And that's why you see so many kids graduating high school early and coming in, because you have winter conditioning. You have complete saturation of the culture, training, and spring football that goes into the summer. And then when you got somebody that's kind of like was going through school, like, I'm sorry, wherever you are in your personal trainer that you have, it's not the same that it is at Ohio State. It's just the reality of the situation. So that being said, he was already kind of behind the eight ball, but was already making flashes. And like, people were like, dude, check out this guy. And Bob, you and I were at practice. We saw him, we saw the capability, and now he's able to do it for the first time. And in a spring football setting, it's like, whoa. And here's the thing, Brian's going to play the dudes that are going to help the guys. And what does that rotation look like? I don't know. Does it matter? The hardest thing with Ohio State is there's still one ball. Like, look at the depth of that running back room. Look at the physicality of the bodies in the running back room. Look at where the offensive line is. Yeah, we got a lot of guys that are stepping in, but we have guys that have extensive playing experience, whether it's at Minnesota, Ohio State, Rice, like all these guys coming in. There's a lot of battles going on. We really don't know what it's necessarily going to look like, feel like, act like, but I do know this. The guy is 100% talented enough to be able to take some of those reps. And when you have a room that's as tight and as transparent as Brian Hartline is with everybody in that room, I think it will be fine.
Then one more question here that we've got that came in today from Steely Match. Like, what is the coaching staff? What do they do? What do they work throughout the summer? Question mark.
The coaching staff, like, work throughout the summer. Like, what does that mean?
Does the coaching staff work through the summer? And well, because I think we've talked about, Ryan gives some guys off some autonomy. First of all, the strength coaches are there all summer.
All year.
Yeah, they're there all year. But that's when some of the coaches get some vacation and get to spend some time with their family. But they do have recruits that come through. They are able to work with the guys intermittently there. But usually Ryan tries to give a couple of weeks off before training camp so guys can go do their own thing, get away, relax a little bit. And then you're coming in refreshed and recharged as a coach, because it's impossible just to grind all season long with recruiting and everything else.
I'll tell you guys this. So, like, as a strength coach, you got to remember this. Like, yeah, you're in season, but you're training within the season, and then you're also there. So not only are you training guys like in the morning, your middle of the day is less, but then you're at practice because you're with position group that you're responsible for all the different nuances that go into like getting those guys prepared for practice games, et cetera. You're there for the entirety of practice, and then you go home. Makes for a really long day. That's the entire season. Then, boom, poof, David Copperfield, you win a national championship. You grab a cup of coffee, and now you're into what it is that you do for your job, and that's like coaching dudes throughout the day, right? Winter conditioning. Now you're into spring ball. But strength coaches are there all the time. May for them is when they get a little bit of time. Spring break, a couple of days, but like May is really that time where it's discretionary, but the building is open. There's always multiple coaches in there to make sure that everything is safe and coach you. But the coaching staff, the football coaches, normally it's June, Bob. And then you have that reset over 4th of July weekend, and then they're back and ready to go. And then they have like a coaches meeting. They still go over the manual, just so everybody knows, like there is a strength and conditioning manual at the beginning of the year that every single year you go over. It's the exact same thing for the coaching staff, like do's, don'ts, expectations, roles and responsibilities. You go through it. It's very black and white. That's how you're held accountable. That's what happens. And now they're preparing for what camp is going to be. What does my install days look like? What does the practice, script look like? What are we trying to implement in our special teams and our offense and our defense, et cetera? Who are going to get those reps coming off of spring ball, coming off of the summer, and where guys have grown? What are the things that we still need to see from a competition standpoint for positions that are out there, and how do we put those guys in the best position for them to be able to succeed, but also that we can get a clear vision as to who's going to be the starter once we hit into game one. Like that's what happens. So they get a recharge in June, and then once July happens, man, it's all gas, no brakes for the next 6-7 months.
There we go. Schlegs outlined the whole calendar for you. All right, coming up next, got our parting thoughts. Boise State's coach put some stuff out there. He received a little heat, and he answered the bell. We'll talk about that next on the Bobby Carpenter Show. All right, Pat, throw up the Boise State coach, and we'll take a little peek about this. Schlegs, he was receiving a little heat for, talking about his faith and everything, and he answered the bell at the podium and to all his critics out there.
The Freedom of Religious Foundation organization. I just kind of want to get your thoughts on the situation. And have you had any conversations with university officials?
Yeah, so I'm very open, guys, about my faith, and I've been open about that going forward. It's something that a lot of things in life can let you down. My relationship with Jesus is the only thing in my life that doesn't. And that is my foundation. That doesn't mean it's everybody's. My foundation's on Jesus. And that is something that I've worked through and with since I was a kid to college to now. It's a process. And it's by no means me sitting here makes it seem like I'm better than somebody that doesn't. But I love Jesus. That's my foundation. I also believe as a head coach to be very authentic with our team, that this is me. And I want everybody on our team to have a foundation that's not football, because football will let you down at some point for everybody. Money, fame, it all will let you down. So I want everyone on our team to have a foundation that isn't football. And so I'm open about my faith. But there's guys on our team and staff members.
Yeah. There you go, Schlegs. You got 30 seconds to comment on that.
No, I mean, I think we saw something with Prime, Dion about the same thing. And here's the thing, man, like it's your team, it's your culture. And he said the thing, it's authentically him. I'm taking, the whole religion and Jesus. I mean, I'm a believer as well, but like I'm taking that out of the equation. The program, the university hired you to do a job. Be authentically you. Everybody that's be authentically you. And what he's trying to do is like, he's there to support. He's there to say what gets him through. He's there to say, here's who I give the glory to. That might not be you. That's not my job. Like that. That's the Spirit's job, right? Like it has nothing to do with him and all. Like honestly, as a believer, it's all about the Spirit and about Jesus. So they'll take it over. But who is he as a coach? And you just saw the way his guys played for him. You saw the way his team is. Like the guy went to the college football playoff at Boise State, made a good run, recruited great guys, developed great guys. Like when I'm evaluating a coach, I'm evaluating those things. And then how he carries himself as a man, win, lose, or draw. That's what you see from him. So again, tip of the hat that he's not going to be swayed by other people's opinion. He's going to be authentically him, and I appreciate that in 2025.
Absolutely. Well, that's it for today's show. Stay locked in. Stay tuned. Tomorrow, keep breaking down some of the basketball, preview pro day a little bit, and get you ready for the weekend here on the Bobby Carpenter Show.